Hey, gang, we are live. And obviously, what happened on Saturday should have every single one of us on our knees, thanking God for his overwhelming protection of President Trump and our country. What was meant to be a day just to celebrate the hope and excitement of getting Trump back into the White House obviously turned into something far, even more momentous. We lost the life of a brave and true, courageous patriot, Corey Comparator. He was killed protecting his wife and daughter from the gunfire. And what Corey did, along with Trump's iconic fist pump to the crowd of courageous Americans who stood their ground, they did not run. They didn't stampede over each other. They stood their ground in concern for Trump and his safety. Both of those men are powerful reminders of the bravery of Trump and the MAGA movement as a whole. I am honored. We are honored to be joined right now by one of the rally's attendees, an eyewitness of this historical event, Todd Gerhardt of MakeHoneyGreatAgain.com, one of our good friends and sponsors who supports our channel in the midst of our demonetization. And he happened to have been there. And he's here to give us a firsthand account of exactly what happened Saturday at that rally. So, Todd, thank you for being with us. And thank God you're safe, man. It's an honor to have you with us.
Well, good morning. It's an honor to be on your show and what you guys do and everything. So, yeah. Well, as you said, Erstin, I co-founder of MakeHoneyGreatAgain.com. And we are the only vendor inside the gates at the rallies. You know, a lot of your listeners or watchers have been to the rallies. And all the T-shirts, hats. I'm wearing one of his hats right here. But guy gave this to me, actually makes Trump's hats. But anyhow, we are inside the gate because we donate a lot of the money to different GOP groups. So I was just in Miami a couple of days earlier, and then that ended on Tuesday night, left Wednesday morning, and drove up to Butler. We have to get there a day early through Secret Service to go in and get set up. And then I just go out and I talk to people. They're standing there in line and. It's just Americana at its finest. We did get the number from the Secret Service. There were 52,000 people there.
Wow.
And I was in New Jersey with them out on the beach when there was 100,000. There were no protesters. I mean, it's just phenomenal. In fact, I'm getting a little chilled just talking about it. But the sad part about it was some of our innocence, I guess, was taken away, that day. I will tell you that there were people running, in the back. You're up on this hill, and people were running, when the shots went off. The ones up front, stayed there and saw that he was okay. When that song Lee Greenwood comes out, we know the routine. He comes out and everybody's cheering. And I'd actually gotten up and went and got myself a hot fudge sundae and started walking up to the front. And it wasn't long into the speech when the shots went off. And, it's despair. You don't know what's going on. I saw the poof. There was some liquid flying out of one of the cranes, and the bullets had hit the hydraulic lines. And there's big black speakers that these cranes hold up, and down comes the speakers. It didn't hit anybody.
Wow.
We knew within about a minute or two that he was okay, and they had got the shooter, because we do have, we have some Secret Service people, that are close to, in our areas. There was a relief, that he was okay. Our phones were jammed. We couldn't call out. We couldn't text because they'd shut all that down inside there. People were calling, and one person did get through, and then the phone just cut off, and then we were done.
Wow.
I talked to, not everybody said, I remember talking to this little kid. He turned out to be 10 years old, and it was the morning of, and I went up to him and said, "Hey, it's your first rally." "Yeah, it's our first rally, mister." And I said, "Well, where's your girlfriend at?" He's saying, "Well, I'm only 10 years old, mister." He goes, "I don't have a girlfriend." And I said, "Well, when you get your first girlfriend, you tell her that you were here, because she knows you're a smart guy," and the parents are laughing, and we do the knuckles, and off they go. But in the back, when people were running, and, they're, nobody, it was, I won't say it's a stampede, but people, were diving on the ground. We hid behind our booth for a couple, for a little bit till we knew what was going on. When I got back to the booth. And then about 25 minutes later, because a lot of people were gone, they just want, obviously it was over, we want to get out of there. The Secret Service started screaming that there were some bomb issues. They found a suspicious package. And we had you just left, they were escorting us out. And then it became a crime scene. I just got home late last night. I stayed there till about 1 o'clock in the morning, waiting to get taken down to get my stuff. Everything's replaceable. I mean, there was a life loss that you talked about, but I guess I didn't want my stuff down there, because then if you feel like you're going to lose, that they got you. I don't know. It was just a,
yeah, you're right. You wanted to have at least some semblance of control over your life in the midst of this utter chaotic moment. Where go ahead, finish your. Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. So at about 7:15 that night, and I don't know how they got my number, but I get a phone call. I had done about 3 interviews, going out, and we're standing there, and the troopers are around us, and my phone rings out of New York. And I'm not trying to be a hero when I tell you this, but this is exactly what happened. Hi, my name's Kerry, and I'm with CNN World Headquarters. Now they treat this man like a piece of what?
Yeah.
And us. And Todd, how are you? We know who you are. But we know we're praying for you. They're not praying for us. I mean, no, come on.
To whom are they praying? Is it?
Right. Well, they're not praying to me. I mean, we're worried. Are you okay? Am I okay? Anyhow. So how can I assist you? And she says, Anderson Cooper and Wolf Blitzer want to interview you. And how can we, blah, blah, and I said, listen, I'm getting ready to do an interview, which I was. I will call you back. I promise I will call you back. And about 2 minutes later, CNN posted, and people had seen it, and they take it down, that the blood coming out of his ear or his head was from the Secret Service tackling him, and he got scraped.
Right.
Okay. Well, we know that okay. You want to talk about fake news? That was fake news seconds into this. And I paced a little bit, and I called her back, and I said, she goes, okay, how soon can we do this? And I said, I'm going to pass. And she goes, what? And I said, I'm going to pass. And she goes, you're turning down Wolf Blitzer and Anderson Cooper? And I said, like I said, I'm going to pass. And then she spewed more stuff about, we're going to pray for you. We're praying for you and your health. And I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah.
No, you're not. Yeah. My call to fame on that was I turned down a Reuters interview once. They showed up in Pennsylvania when we were doing our movie on the return of the American Patriot with Doug Mastriano.
Oh, okay.
Said,
yeah.
Yeah. And they said, we'd like to interview you. And I said, no, I'm not interested.
No. My one buddy said you should have gone on and blasted them, on live TV.
Oh, on live TV. Yeah. What the heck are you guys doing? Right.
You'd get about 4 seconds in, and they would hit click.
And they cut your mic. Exactly.
They cut your mic, and I'm not going to lower myself to that.
No,
it's just not.
No
so I stayed there till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the troopers said, "Give us your cards, the people that were there, and we'll call you when you can come and get your stuff when it's clear." And you went back to the hotel. Then I went back there Sunday morning, and there was media. Dr. Steve, I was shocked at the international media. I did probably over 30 interviews that day, and 2 in Japan, 2 in England, 1 in England,
wow.
Australia. I mean, Turkey, Israel.
The world saw it. This was an event witnessed by the world.
Right, and he presents the world being safe when he was our president. There was nothing going on in the world. Whether you like his message or people love his message, he's bombastic or whatever, but it's about policies made, policies, kept. I mean, that's, but anyhow, there all day. And then about 7 o'clock that night, Sunday night, the troopers said, you know what, we need to make some phone calls because this is, and they called and they took me down there. They escorted me down. And this was probably the worst part. It was like time stood still. I went down there and there was 3 troopers that took me down to my where we were set up. And I looked at them, with tears coming down. I said, can you give me a minute? And they said, absolutely. And you look out over the carnage. And you look out and you just visualize those little kids that are having a great day. It's Americana, 52,000 people of like kind having a great time, and the music's playing, all this stuff that's going on, and time stopped, and you see just stuff all over. And then I'm standing there at my table, and there's half-eaten chicken tenders and fries, and There's a Diet Coke that, never got finished. It was just, I don't know. It was so overwhelming, that part. And then I turn around and the grills are there, and there sits all the hot dogs and sausages and, the toppings. It was all taken, and I've been asked in every interview, and I've done, I don't know, over 30 of them, are you going to come back? Are you going to continue to do this? And I said, yes, because if you don't, then they won.
Right. Of course.
Whoever they is at the time, we don't know. They were talking about it was Antifa, this and that. Then they won. And yes, we will go out because we do help people financially with this. You have an account, we'll talk at the end about how we help you guys and all that, but we're going to keep fighting. And that little guy that got to see that rally, who knows, he'll probably, you hope you don't have too many nightmares, but
right.
It was scary. I mean, you're vulnerable, like you talked about earlier, you don't have the control. He's just trying to make America better.
Right.
I've been with him. The honey's been at Mar-a-Lago. I hosted him for an event back in 2016 at Key Island. I was the host and brought him here. He's not anything like they,
no,
like they make it be. And I don't know if you've met him or you've talked,
Yeah, I have. I got, very briefly.
He's not, we've been blessed to meet him. You've been, and I've met him, and he's not this.
No, he's nothing. He's nothing even remotely what MSNBC tries to caricature him.
And I'll tell you, it's interesting. And I know you're in the media and all that, but the international people, they all ask me, how can you guys? How does this political violence end? And I said, it's the media. The people that don't like, the media builds this up. I said, no offense, folks, but but anyhow, go ahead. You got questions?
No, there's nothing more violent than rhetorically referring to someone as the worst mass murderer of the 20th century. I mean, there's nothing more inviting of violence,
right,
than to say that this man is an existential threat to your way of life as an American. I mean, and that's not been a peripheral message of the Biden campaign or MSNBC. That has been central to their 24/7 presentation of what is at stake here. I mean, Biden's blood red speech that he gave right before the midterms. The Republicans are, they're an existential threat to our democracy, while at the same time they're trying to do everything they possibly can to shut down our democratic processes. Right. It's just so bizarre. But no, I'm with you 1,000%. And it does seem, I talked about this last night on our live stream Monday night. We are getting reports, even Vanity Fair of all places, if you can believe it, is reporting that Trump, his inner circle is saying what happened right before your eyes changed him. And apparently, as I understand it, brushes with death do that to world leaders. It happened to Reagan after Hinckley tried to take him out. It happened to Pope John Paul II after his assassination attempt. There is this overwhelming sense that I have been spared for a purpose.
Right.
And that purpose is in accordance with the one who spared me. So it's very powerful stuff, almost, literally kind of like born again sort of stuff.
Right.
And he's already he's rewriting his speech for Thursday night. And that's going to be the single most watched moment of political history on Thursday night. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable. Please.
Well, another scary thought was I was in Miami with him a couple of days earlier, and Barron's there for the first time, and he brought two of us.
You were there. You were at that rally. Yes.
We go to. I'm there.
Barron stood up and
and the crowd's cheering on that. But he also introduced. He had two of his little granddaughters there. And and Eric and Junior are there, and I was just fast forwarding. What if they were sitting there someday?
My God!
And that bullet moves a quarter of an inch, and that little 9-year-old granddaughter, however those little girls are. I know Barron's 18, but he's still, he's a kid. He's a kid. And and my people ask about, do you think he'll continue to do the rallies? I say, I'm Catholic, and the Pope travels in a glass. We've all seen the glass case.
I saw him personally in it. Yeah.
Okay. I said, if they have to put that up there, he's not going to want it. But if that's what we have to do, look, how does it end? It ends on November 5th when he's put in and our gas prices go down and food, and that's a whole nother day, you know, and his new tax policy on, you know, nope, you're not paying income taxes on tipped employees.
Right.
That server who's busting her, you know, doing a good job, got $100 tip, you know, 27.6% is not going to income tax because she did a great job. It's going in her pocket. So anyhow, but maybe there's questions.
I want to share with you, Todd. I was so moved by this, frightened as well. I remember, you know, I was an academic for 20 years, and I taught aesthetics, particularly a theology of art and beauty. And one of the key differences is that beauty is very fragile. Beauty is an extreme, like a flower, you know, a lullaby, a melody. Beauty can be, at least, very, very fragile. Destruction is easy. I think that's one of the reasons why we revel in ugliness today, is because it's so easy. You could just, and I contrast, you know, the images of Trump and all that he's accomplished over 78 plus years, as an entrepreneur and as a politician, as president. I mean, the buildings he's built, the contributions he's made to civilization. And then I look at the picture, that 20-year-old, I mean, I'm sorry to say it, kind of like freak who could
resembled the Sandy Hook's shooter.
Exactly. There's something, again, I believe in the end, obviously, as Tucker's been talking about, this is spiritual. This is a spiritual warfare that we're fighting, embodied through us. But you look at that kid and you're like, someone like that could just end 78 years of accomplishment in a split second. That's how fragile beauty and truth and goodness are. And unless we cultivate and come together and care for it and nurture it, and most importantly, defend it, the four great classical virtues are justice, wisdom, moderation, and courage. And they all the ancients believe courage was the most important, because without courage, you don't have the fortitude to defend the other three. So you've got to have, and that man, I'm telling you, just from Trump rising up and pumping that fist,
you can see him
going, USA, USA. I mean, that was courage.
Well, and that's when we knew there was a sense of relief, you know, that, you know, that he was going to be okay, and we're going to be okay eventually. You know, he was fighting with his guys to try to get his arm out to get his, you know, to do that. We're not fighting, you know, wrestling with him, but anyhow, maybe there's some questions. Yeah.
That's right. Wrestling guy with Secret Service, which was amazing. He's like, you know, you could tell, you hear it in the, you know, his shoes. He wanted shoes on so he could walk off. He wasn't going to be carried off. And he said, wait a minute. And he didn't care about himself. He only cared about everyone around him. And as a result, we got the single most iconic picture imaginable. I don't know if you've got it, Mike, if you could put it up. We got the single most iconic picture imaginable out of that. This is why the left is, there we are. This is, I mean, just, I don't know if you could see that picture, Todd, but it's just, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, just even look at the position of his hand. It looks like he's holding the flag. It literally looks like he is waving that flag. And I read a commentary by another Trump fan that basically said, all we were missing in that picture is a bald eagle flying across the sky, or the clouds of the shape of George Washington. And this is why the left has been flipping out with their own conspiracy theory, that this was all like premeditated, that this was all fabricated and so forth. And this, I remember reading this pastor who said, oh yeah, no, this was certainly predetermined. That picture was predetermined, but not by any human. By any human. Trump didn't do that. That came as a result of divine.
You can't make that up. No, that's a pretty good video there you're showing.
Yeah. That is the person who took the picture. So that's the iconic moment there. Let's see. Oh, you see the flag above him.
Right. That flag is huge. I was just, it's
There he is.
it's still waving.
There it is.
Go.
Yep. Yeah, like an angelic protector. It's just absolutely.
But when you're down there, I mean, again, that when I got to go down, it's like time had stopped. Apocalyptic.
Yes.
And all the garbage, where people were just dropping their stuff and going, and those people you see up there, I hate to use the word trap, but if you guys have gone to ralies, they're trapped up there. They're not. They're stuck.
And
even the people in the seats, the people where we were at, in the back, towards the back, they were able to run and get out of there. But and then the bomb thing, I said the bomb thing happens, and they did find explosives in his car that they're working on. So,
what has witnessing this event done to you in terms of just your sense of support for Trump?
It's galvanizing. It's absolutely galvanizing. And again, are you going to go back? Yes, because then what was sad was when I'm out there that day on Sunday doing the interviews, waiting to get the call to come and go get your stuff. There were a few, not a lot, cars driving by and F Trump, and it's like, really? I mean, and I looked down real quick.
I say it all the time. Todd, liberals are going to fulfill their job description. Liberalism is a moral disease. It robs you of the ability to cultivate virtue, the classical virtues that the church has been talking about for centuries. It robs you of that. So of course, sorry to interrupt, but
no, that's okay. And and how many people are sat at home and they're mad because this kid missed. There's those people.
I know. Yeah.
And they're not. Yeah. I was in Detroit. I do the Reawaken tour. Are you familiar with the Reawaken tour?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
We do a lot of stuff for the J6ers, and that's what we go for, those poor people. But I was talking to some people from Nashville, and we were talking about gas prices and Trump and all that stuff. And do I believe them? Yeah, I mean, they're adults, and they were paying $1.02 a gallon in Nashville when he was president. We were paying $1.78.
Yeah,
here in South Carolina towards the end.
Yeah. We're in Delaware, $1.99. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you not want that as a human being?
Right. Of course.
You want to pay. Listen, I was in your state, and I paid the highest gas price. I paid the highest gas price the other day when I paid $3.79 a gallon in Butler, and it just infuriated. Again, that's
Pennsylvania's even worse. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Are you in Delaware now? Or are you in Pennsylvania?
I am about 10 minutes from the Pennsylvania line.
Okay.
Pennsylvania line and Maryland line. So I'm northwest Delaware. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that they're these new battleground states that are out there, Minnesota and Virginia and New Mexico.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Now New York is in play.
Yeah. New Hampshire, Maine. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be a Ronald Reagan, 49 state win.
I'd love to see it.
We're seeing the polls. Steve Garvey is leading against Shifty Schiff out there in California.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he takes California, then it really is a new world officially rising. Right. I always thought we were going to go into that more conservative world without California. So we're going to have to see. Todd, do you mind taking a couple of questions?
No, go ahead.
Our Insiders Club members.
Yeah.
What do we got, Micah? This is from Richard Maynard. Dr. Steve, to Todd as well. Yesterday at the RNC convention, Don Jr. dispatched the MSDNC reporter lying about kids in cages by calling him a clown and saying, "Get out of here." In my opinion, the perfect takedown of fake news. I don't know if you caught that.
I did.
What do you think of that?
Night. That was that was good. I didn't hear the question. When they talked about the
he was talking about, but more or less, is Trump going to reinstitute the separation policy at the border and tear families apart again like he did last time? And Don Jr. said, "Oh, you mean like Obama did?" "Oh, Obama never did that." And Don Jr. is like,
"Well, he put the cages up."
Exactly. This is documented. It goes all the way back to around, I think, even before 2012, and it's just
right. Absolutely.
So, thanks, Richard. Let's we're gonna Quark. Do we know why Secret Service that had seen and knew the shooter was present before shots were fired did not call off and halt the proceedings, have people duck and cover while while they neutralized the shooter.
Well, the shooter was gone in what, 3 seconds or something? I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't very long. I mean, the whole thing was 43 seconds, but, you know, there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on with that. You know, now it's out that, you know, that the local people had the jurisdiction. Supposedly that building, I read some stuff this morning that was a headquarters, and there were police inside the building. And, you know, how in the blank did this guy get up there? With everything. I mean, I watched the Secret Service jump over that fence, because these people you're looking at now, they're outside the fence. There's the inside. They're just, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking. It'll be different at the next rally, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we'll have full knowledge of what happened come January 20th of 2025.
Right. Absolutely.
Afternoon of January 20th, 2025. There will be a thorough investigation.
Right.
Until then, you know, we'll see. So a couple of more here. Susan wants to know, why do you think not one Democrat has called for gun control since the shooting? My thought is they really never wanted gun control other than to just strip our rights to consume all authority over us. Do you think these charlatans will finally be exposed for this?
Well, it was his dad's gun that he bought, 6 months ago, the AR-15. I haven't read anything that the gun was illegal or, you know, and the kid's 20. I mean, it's not like he's 13 and snuck into a cabinet when mom and dad were sleeping. So, and he is 20. So, it's not the gun. It's not the guns manufacturers. It's the person.
Exactly.
Pulling the trigger.
Of course. Yeah. You're not heavy because of Big Macs. You're heavy because your hand grabs a Big Mac and stuffs it into the mouth. All right.
Right. As we should. Yes.
As
we should.
What do we got, Micah? One more? I think we got more. Molly, thank you, dear patriot. That you will continue to go to President Trump's rallies is so encouraging to all of us. President Trump needs us to go forward and to try to be as brave as he is. America is in the balance right now. May our Lord continue to protect our land, our president, and us all. Beautifully said, Molly.
Very well done. Well, thank you for those kind words. Yeah, we're not going to stop. You know, we help too many people with this. And in fact, the number 2 guy at the campaign on this road asked, you know, will you go do indoor events? This is long before this happened. This was earlier in the day. Will you come and do indoor events with us, and we'll put you in the corridors? And he didn't say where, but I know they're talking about, and he didn't say this, but they're talking about like Madison Square Garden doing the event up there.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
Like the food people who, you know, they don't go because that's all done internally, you know, at these arenas. But I said, no, we'll go. I'll call him Steve, because they don't like their name. You know, Steve will go wherever we need to go, but we'll go in those places inside. Right. So, yeah. But, go ahead. I don't know if there's any other questions.
Yeah, we do. We actually have they're coming in.
Fire away.
Yeah, very good. Tyler, do you think what happened on J13 was an inside job? I think Trump should hire his own security staff. The left wants to remove his Secret Service details anyways. Hire his own security and keep himself protected. Any opinions on that at all?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you've never gone to a rally, I mean, they're on hundreds of acres are needed to do these things. The Secret Service they're the best. I mean, they guard us at some times when we're at different things. You know, they're in the area. We can count on them. No, I don't think he should hire his own people. It's just my opinion, but because we see it all the time. Yeah.
Well, I used to speak at the what was it called? I can't even remember. It's like a Make America Great Again rally. With a number Don Trump Jr. and then Trump spoke a few times there. And so, yeah, I had to go through the whole Secret Service thing, but you know, I was backstage for the whole day, and then they had a nice lunch set up, and a couple of the Secret Service guys were there eating lunch, and I sat down, you know, and we struck up a conversation. They're all Trump fans. They love Trump. They love Trump. They would gladly guard him with their lives. I mean, those are good men. One more here for Todd. Sean, what was it like when the crowd chanted USA, USA?
It was Sean. It was a chilling, and I just thinking about it, I got a little chill. These people are there for him because he's there for us. He doesn't need to do any of this stuff. His legal bills are staggering. We do some stuff with Mike Lindell, the same type of cut from the same cloth. He's not giving up. He's not going anywhere, and we're going to stay there with him. And we hope everybody else does too, which we think that they will. I mean, look at these people. They're just everyday people.
Yeah.
They're just, yeah. And I don't know if you want to shift to the honey, but when people buy this honey, Dr. Steve, they feel like they're helping, they're being a patriot, they're getting something. When we designed this thing, we didn't want to do, look, there's a million t-shirts and hats and bobbleheads, and the honey that helps you and Mike Lindell. I can't even begin. I mean, I can't even, we'd sit here for a half hour, me telling you the people that use this. When you go to makehoneyGreatAgain.com, you punch in the promo code Turley, and we send you money to keep, you were demonetized. That's how we got the phone call from this woman out of Texas. Will you help him? Or who is he? And we looked at you and we said, well, I mean, it was an honor to do it. But that's all they got to do. Just go to makehoneyGreatAgain.com and punch in promo code Turley. I mean, Mike Lindell has a promo code with me. Mike Lindell has our honey. I mean, it's, you feel like a patriot. When we bought a square back, if you remember, Steve Bannon was helping. They did a GoFundMe on Build the Wall back in 2017. Trump was having problems with Congress and the Senate and all that stuff. And we bought 2 squares. That was $80 a square, but we felt like we were a patriot. We were protecting America by building this wall, which he'll go back and he'll get that done. And the same thing's happening with this honey, where you're actually getting something and you're using it, and it's Donald Trump in a bottle, and it's pretty. I mean, you have it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's and it's creating jobs here in South Carolina in a depressed area. There's 11,000 hives we have here in South Carolina, and it's just pure raw honey. It's untouched. It's unfiltered. I was with, we were in Saginaw, Michigan, and I met Donald Trump's. This guy's walking around. It's the day before. And he goes, hey, I see you around. Who are you? And I said, who are you? And he's Donald Trump's teleprompter controller. And I said, what? I just said, are you kidding me? And anyhow, he goes, no. And I gave him a bottle of honey, and he just took the lid off and just squirted it in his mouth. We're on Real America's Voice often, and Don and Donna on the weekends, Cowboy Logic, and he does that because they're J6 people. I don't know. It's cool, and we're not gonna go back off the road, because then again, as I stated before, they won. If we, and he's not going to do it. If he quits and says,
exactly,
I got grandchildren. I go
fight. Exactly.
Fight. Those famous words that I'm sure that I know that hat's out there already. I can't wait for the next rally. We don't get nobody gets a lot of notice, but the crowds, will it be a change there, Dr. Steve? I don't know. You probably won't see the 6 and 7 year olds there. Probably not. I mean,
it's just a little scary.
Yeah.
So, well, I can't thank you enough, Todd.
It's an honor to meet you and be on and help you guys. And again, people, help Dr. Steve in his travels. And we all know he's been demonetized. That's how we got involved. And you just go to makehoneyGreatAgain.com. It's pretty simple. Order your bottles. Or, hey, if there's somebody out there like Dr. Steve that needs some help, you can call us. The phone number's there. It goes right to my cell number. We're in California at the LOP, the LA GOP office. The honey's out there. I got a call a few months ago. I thought it was a prank phone call. And I laughed when I go, you're with who? And she goes, I know we're not very active, but anyhow, they're getting started. They have 200 members at the LA County GOP.
I love it.
The honey's in there and they're raising money. It's everywhere. So.
I love it. I absolutely love it, gang. Definitely click on the link below. Get yourself some wonderful, wonderful all natural Trump honey. It's not just delicious, but you'll be supporting a solid patriot business as well. Also, remember, tomorrow night, we got our Call to Arms event, our own free online event, Wednesday, July 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern, completely free event that'll show you your own crucial role that you can play in securing Trump's victory in November. We're just 24 hours away from it, so click on that link below or scan the QR code right now to secure your spot, and we're going to send you our Courageous Conservatives book bundle absolutely free as a thank you for taking your part in securing Trump's victory seriously. So don't wait. Click on that link or scan that QR code right now, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Todd, God bless you, bro. You are
Thank
so
you.
inspiring. I am so pumped listening to you. I'm humbled listening to you just by the grace of God, just exuding through you and what you've experienced, how your whole life in many ways sort of led up to this world witness moment, and
Right.
and thank you for sharing how it's changed you and how you're going to go forward brighter than ever. So thank you, Todd.
Well, money drives this world. We got to get money to keep people out traveling like you and everybody else. And we're helping Scott Pressler now. We start with him
Oh,
next
yes,
week.
Scott, yeah, in Pennsylvania.
We did a little photo thing. He's going national. He's the national guy. A lot of people know him. I mean, he's concentrating on Pennsylvania. We're supposed to go into an event with him in August. We're actually going to the bikers rally in Sturgis.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
500,000 people there. He's going out to register those people.
Yeah,
to vote.
register those voters.
And,
Absolutely.
we're going to have a booth out there, and Full Throttle Saloon has given us a booth. And Michael Ballard, the owner of Full Throttle Saloon out there, is a big supporter, and he'll be there. The security people will be there to take care of him. Ride for 45. It's the motorcycle club that's one of Trump's motorcycle clubs that they take care of. And we'll be out there doing that. So it's all over. But we want to help you guys. Remember, go to that code. It's going. I'm sure it's on the bottom. Dr. Stephen, every week we'll send you guys money to keep things going.
Thanks so much, Todd.
You're welcome.
God bless.
Hey, have a blessed day.